Hello everybody, what's up? Andy here from Glass Half Dead, the #1 kill team channel on YouTube. Unless of course you are aware of any other channel on YouTube, in which case, forget what I just said, thank you very much, don't think about it. Oh no. Where are we live? Over there. Let's turn that off. Okay, good. A classic echo. Hello everybody, what's up? Are you hobbying? I'm not hobbying, but I am talking about hobby because I had kind of assumed that we were going to be getting some Typhon by now, and we haven't. So I don't really have much to say about Kill Team, although something I intend to do a video for at some point in the future, perhaps, is you know, like after Typhon's dropped, as we're in the dead patch between big boxes, I thought I might have a little chat about kind of approved ops and what we might expect for the future. So maybe I have a little contemplation about that here now for everybody with you. Right, chat, what's up? Slacker at large, hello. I see that we have gamified the chat, and my only real issue is that I can't join in. I'm gonna be honest. I'm seeing these #1s, #2s, #3s, and I'm like, I could level up. I could rank up. What's going on? What's up? But unfortunately, I cannot. Halfway to your hobby goal this year from Slacker at large. Built, primed everything in the Hivestorm box. Well done. Personal accomplishment for a dad of twins. I've often said if I had kids, I would have no life at all. I would do nothing. I genuinely don't know how anyone manages that. Are Vespids hard to build? I didn't have any issues with my Vespids. The only thing I did was I bent an ankle, as I was gluing it together. Greetings, hello Tabletop Impulse. Experience points, yes. More odd YouTube features, indeed. Yes, it is. It does look very Twitch, but I guess you can't copyright a colour. Oh, unless it's a colour of a font for a romance novel. Brewster, hello. Kiwi Commander, was there supposed to be... Well, no, there's not supposed to be news ever. I just had assumed it's time, isn't it? But... oh, well, I guess it's only the 2nd of June. No, I guess not. Just I've got nothing else to talk about for Kill Team, so... I kind of had hoped, you know... I had hoped it would make my job easier, basically. Alexander, think mode off, correct, my good sir. Arik, a smiley. And somehow you're in #3. I don't understand the ranking system. We will learn it throughout this stream, though, no worries. Tunda, Miko, Andrew, Evil Bear Skirmish, hello all of you. Fallout Boy, what do you think of the current state of Kill Team? It resets every stream? Ah, so there's no, like, carryover. Ah, it's boring then, okay. Standing off 3D printed life-size Lucius pattern. That actually sounds fire. I can't lie. I would like to have full-size proxies for things. Models of things. I could hang a lasgun or a bolter on the wall behind me. That'd be quite cool. IDK stuff looks good. I agree, Fallout Boy. I actually have on this screen right here the new IDK stuff, as I might have a little chat about that and things that one might do with that and why I'm currently vaguely interested in it. So that's cool. Thank you, been busy with life. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. So, excited for new Horus Heresy box set you won't build. So I don't like the Horus Heresy as a concept. I have no nostalgia or interest or like at all for the Saturnine pattern armor, but actually, having absorbed it, I think that for what the Saturnine are, they've done a very, very good job of updating the old Saturnine armor to be something that isn't the dumbest thing in the world. So there you go. But then we have a donation from Tabletop Impulse for £1. Thank you so much, Mr. Tabletop Impulse. You're too kind, sir. And you know what? That shall go straight towards, sir. It shall go straight towards the hydration fund. Hydratus Dominatus, everybody. There you go. Hydratus Dominatus, everybody. Ta-da. And of course, anybody that supports me in any way, shape or form, all of that goes straight towards the hydration fund. There you go. The ways that you can support me are, of course, by donating or supporting on here in the chat. You can go to my Patreon, or something that is a little bit more approachable for people is I have affiliate links, both for merch, gear, but also for, what's it called? Oh, like Element Games and Whaling Games. If you're buying Warhammer, cost you no extra, and I get a kickback. That'd be awesome. So thank you very much. Unfortunately, you don't get points for the £1. That is quite sad. Can I interact with it at all? No, not that I'm seeing. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, I can give it a like. Give it a heart. There you go. That's a thing. I guess. I suppose. It's good. Good that I can do that. Excellent. Freeway cola tastes like metal. What can I say? I don't know, I'm metal or something. I don't know. I found that I didn't really notice a huge difference between all of the different colas. So I just went with something that's EU made instead of American made. That's all. It's been 2 months since the Typhon announcement was hopefully released soon. Yeah, I mean, so again, I guess we weren't actually expecting anything this week specifically, but we're expecting it June, July. Well, July is I've never said July before, but I've seen other people in chat say July. I've always said mid to late June, but you never know what the Horus Heresy release is going to do to things. Oh, okay, so I can see a leaderboard at the top with 75 XP is Tunda. And then it's Sidewinder, and then it's Slacker at Large. Everybody else is slacking. Slacking, guys. What happens if I click this? Community leaderboard and XP. A place for fans that... I don't care. I don't care. I can turn it off, though, apparently, which is nice. I'm not going to. Keep running in that treadmill. It's terrible. Don't eat the can. Brewster knows what's happened. He knows what's gone wrong. It's odd that this release is taking longer than we thought it would. So again, Dudley, I don't think it is. But don't forget, it got revealed before we even got Blood and Zeal. Right? That's why it's taking so long. Because we just haven't gotten to it yet. Blood and Zeal only just released. Right? So, there you go. It's a bit crazy. It feels like a long time. But then we have Brian with $10 US. Sorry to say, I'm late. Buy yourself a 12-pack of hydration. I certainly shall, sir. Thank you very much. You're too generous. Too generous, everybody. It caps at 75? Okay. Seems very strange, but okay. All right. Whatever. I don't understand it. Indeed. The $10 shall go straight towards Hydratus Dominatus. Lovely. Okay. Somebody asked a question. Still playtesting the Tyranid team? Maybe. Who knows, right? Who knows? With digital rule sets now, they could be doing anything. I mean, except that. But, you know, they'd have to pay their playtesters or something. They're not going to do that, obviously. Somebody asked a question. The current state of Kill Team, can you elaborate? Because that's too big of a question, if I'm honest. State of it in what sense? Various ways of answering that question that I currently have as future thoughts, glass half ideas is what I call my Google Docs. Are is there power creep in Kill Team? That's the main one that sprung to mind, I suppose. I don't think there is, if I'm honest. That's a good answer for that. That's my main thought. There isn't power creep in Kill Team. Because, yes, we just had Sanctifiers and Goremongers, which are possibly some of the best teams out there. But that's right after Rattlings and Wrecker Crew, which are very mid of the pack. And then we had Aquilons and Vespids, which have had, what, 3 rounds of buffs at this point? And they still don't seem to be generally top tier. So I really don't think we do. Still think about that Hydratus Dominatus Shower Curtain. I could buy that, but it would be... I mean, yeah, you know, like that's how you get one's hydration. It's there for everybody wondering. You can go and buy that. I wouldn't say I would recommend it, but it's there. It's there. I'm just going to show off here, but for the Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress game, me and my friend are going to try to make our own version of it, but with the Corsair Voice Guards as the heroes. Very cool. Love to see it. But then we have Toondar with CZK 50. No idea how much that is, but thank you. Is this an XP cheat? Anyway, this is a donation to the Hydration Fund. Hydratus Dominatus. Thank you. So you someday try Cafola. There is a diet version. Yes. Well, yeah, you said that it's over that way. I mean, I am in Poland in like next week, so if they sell it in Poland, I'll track it down and find it. Showed an animation to give me more experience, stayed at 75. Okay, yes, if you can't tell, I have no idea what this feature is, so I'm not able to award XP that I can tell. I can click on things and it just takes me to the leaderboard, and yeah, 75 XP is the highest. And people are getting there. There's more and more 75ers. So I don't really know what that means. You get it by sending live chat messages and sending super chats and super stickers. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream. Okay, but if it caps it... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not here to talk about YouTube's poorly integrated gamer features. Show that animation to get more... can you show that t-shirt again? Of course, yes. There you go. Hydratus Dominatus. It is a Alpha Legion. With the, of course, it doesn't have the Hydra. That would be IP. So it has instead the Alpha, the symbol for Alpha, and then turning into a Deathwatch Marine on the other side. There you go. Commissioned from an artist on Instagram, as I am strongly against AI. So paid a dude for it. I've used him before. He's cool guy. And then I put it on a t-shirt through redbubble.com, and yeah, there you go. I have not yet put any links for this out, well, apart from for my patrons, but it seems fun. I should probably put that into somewhere, into my generic pinned comments, and actually promote it. But I don't really care. I made this for fun, not to like get money, so I don't know. We'll see. I think the issue with Kill Team is the lack of progression between games without a homebrew. I'd like to see some form of lightweight Crusade style gameplay for multiplayer, multi-session games. Okay. So don't forget that. Do you just mean like in Hivestorm where they had like a tree? There was like, you know, mission 1 and then it leads on to mission 2, mission 3, and it's like it's a thing. Do you mean that? Because that is like a mini campaign. Just without changing the mechanics of the game, it's just the next mission you play, right? Yes. Yeah. This whole weird chat thing feels like narrative play. Leaks Feeks with 99p. I don't think that would get me a Coke anymore, but thank you nonetheless. Much appreciated, sir. Straight to the Hydration Fund. Hydratus Dominatus. You want a t-shirt that says right. Yeah, I did that. There you go. There you go. See? I know what I'm doing. I'm not expecting anyone to buy that. But I did it. The XP thing is weird and remarkably distracting, I must say. I can turn it off, I've seen. Merch, it's really just fun things for me to wear, but yes, it is all sold online because that's how I print on demand it for myself. Yeah. I'm not really expecting people to buy these, to be clear. It's not part of my emporium, you know, my empire. Brian with another $5. You're a mad lad, sir. Sending another super chat to test the leaderboard behavior. What is this science? Yeah, I've got no clue. At the moment, it does seem like the AdMech have put it together. Oh, sorry, LeaksVeeks. I see now that you had sent a poop emoji. I'm sorry for not reading that out. Yes. Fair. I mean, sure. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, don't know what's happening. Don't know what's happening with it. But people seem to want to send me money to test it. And so clearly YouTube has... You've all fallen into YouTube's algorithm trap, soz. They've caught you. It's an excuse for YouTube to make money, but I thought of this, it would have a siege mode for kill team. Siege mode, don't we have that? Like, wasn't that in Brutal and Cunning? I think. When are we getting Death Watch? That is being talked about in a video tomorrow, which my patrons have already seen, of course, but yes, check my video tomorrow for that one, as I answer that pretty concisely as a possibility. Yes, you buy Kofola in Poland, but for me it doesn't taste like cola at all. Okay, in what sense? That sounds weird. GW knocking down the door. No, Rosso Gary, this is legally distinct. I made that very clear to the artist. I said, I'm not here to rip off IP. Remove anything that GW has the copyright to. There's no symbols. Thank you. There we go. Prioritize the super chats even if at equal XP. Oh, okay. That's so... Clearly, there's just a bug in the system that is locking people at 75 XP. Right? Like, that must be it. Think looking at new 40k mission pack, asymmetric map and twist conditions, what could help refresh the older teams. Also could be nightmare to balance for comp, but great for casual. So this will be another discussion, but if we look at what they're doing in chapter approved, which I think is valid, it specifically says that the twist and the... Oh, wait, no. I can't remember what a twist is. Hold on. Asymmetric missions are not for comp play. They just happen to be in the competitive play deck. Confusing, but fine. And the twist used to be called the mission rule, right? Or is a twist something else now? Is the twist the thing where you can use it as either... Is that the underdog thing? Or is that the old mission rule? Because the old mission rule is no longer used in competitive play, from what I've seen. I haven't paid huge attention, but yeah. But the whole underdog thing, which they just took from Age of Sigmar Spearhead, is for competitive play, which I really like, to be clear. There's a lot of hidden XP, yes. Right, I finally caught up. Yes, I showed you the right t-shirt. Did love the Hive Storm style game. There you go, smashed it. What would cola be branded as in the 41st millennium? Ploon Calf. Yeah, probably... Oh, what's it called? I can't even remember. I am not on the top of my game today. I don't know why, but the brain is slow today. I could be busy. The stickers are a comment on the quality of the content, by the way. Just forgot you could do stickers. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue. I'll take that 99p. How many up and downs? Every super chat makes me stand up. If there's enough, I will become a squat king. I'm already a squat king. I suppose I mean a squatting king. I actually feel like this YouTube future is horrible. Doesn't just straight up encourage spamming. Yes. There you go. Hello, Joden. Can't complain at that. Good evening. Which of the official kill zones do you prefer to play on? Warcry Lives. Yeah, sure. Warcry Lives. Yeah. I assume that you are from the Flesh Eater Courts with that delusion. Volcus. There you go. So I'm not a huge fan of Beta Decima. It's a little bit limiting. I do not like how God interacts with the terrain on Gallodark ultimately, which leaves me with Volcus. There you go. So great. Volcus is still a very heavy board, but that's fine. You know, there's big skews in all of the different kill zones, so yeah. Volcus, I've gotten used to it. Yes, Cafola does not taste like cola. It looks similar, but it's very different. Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. Hey, if I see it, I will try it. Having the first half of that said, I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was having deja vu since I've already watched the. Yes, that's right. Yes. Chapter approved excites me a lot. Why is that? I think that you've just answered below. Ryan asks, for $2, is every super chat a squad? Yes. So firstly, thank you. Secondly, Hydratus Dominatus. I hate to, I don't want to lie to you. I'm already a squat champion. I bust like 100 a day already. So it's the main thing that I use as exercise to lower my blood sugar levels. So all right, I'll do it. Hydratus Dominatus. I can do it all day. Can do it all day. You won't tire me out though. Just throwing that out there. And I want to give you hope. Chapter approved, yeah. So I've pre-ordered Chapter approved for 40k, the game I don't play, and I've also pre-ordered the General's Handbook for Age of Sigmar, the game I don't play. Now, the reason I've done that is because I always imagined that I might play them. So I bought them both. Had to go straight to GW, even for the Age of Sigmar one, which I tried to get through Element, but I couldn't. Unfortunately, I was too slow. Too slow to log in. I put it in my cart and there were 9 left, and by the time I had logged in, it was gone. I was like, bastards. Because I forgot my login. I never know my login details. Oh well. And my general intent is to read both of those and take a look at them and then kind of elaborate out in a video what trends GW seems to be pushing into its games, that we could then guess what our approved ops are going to be for next year, September. It'll be interesting. More of a bow tie man than t-shirt. How about a nice cravat? I don't think a cravat is on the docket, unfortunately. Hello, Ian. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. How are you? I think this got missed, but what if we had a siege? No, Dante, I mentioned that. That was I mentioned the. Didn't that exist in Brutal and Cunning? Right. As in, it did exist. I think it was literally called Siege Mode. No, Bunker. It was a bunker thing. But maybe that's not what you mean. Twist is a mission rule. It's called a twist now to bring... Okay, cool. Yes, that's what I thought. So, I understand it's optional. In the same way that the asymmetrical maps are optional. As in, you could use them, but it does say in the pack for comp play not to, I think, for at least for not the twist, for asymmetrical missions. So I assume it's the same thing. Like, yeah, it's there, you can use it, but don't. I don't know that. Fingers crossed for paid YT comment animated GIFs. Yes, that's oh yeah, that is an old reference there, Leak Speaks. Yeah, but hey, if you're not old enough to remember Ally McBeal, what are you doing? Hobby for the Plague Marines, trim. Love to hear it. Although I hate trim, to be clear, but thank you. Haven't been playing much KT lately, but I always love this community just for the vibes. That's the way to do it, Luke. It's not about the playing of the game. It's about spending money on the game. That's the way I view it, you know. Where's the link to your merch? Doesn't seem to work on your Patreon. I have not yet given out the link for this merch. That's where I've gone wrong. It must work because I've sold some stickers. Oh, I have stickers as well. I will track that down. There you go. Off the top of my head, I don't know where the link is. I will have to find it and start posting it in my videos. In the top comment and the description from now on, I will do that. Yeah. But I don't know where the link is off the top of my head. I apologize. Jesus sounding is hard. I just hope the lasgun will... Yeah, make sure you're wearing a respirator for that one, that bad boy. Ah, I've missed one, haven't I? Hydratus Dominatus. Get those reps in. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. I shall, sir. I shall. You've got to... If you don't have buns of steel, then you have buns of meal. That's like porridge. Oh, that still means you're thick. Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, as they say. So I'll workshop that saying. Don't worry about it. My main AOS faction is indeed FEC. We aren't delusional. We just see the future. That is not how that faction works. But okay. Sure. I'm not going to remove your delusion again. Once is enough. I have only played on Volkers and have been dating about getting another one of the terrains or just waiting for Typhon. So Typhon isn't a new kill zone, to be clear. Right now, so I personally have a... Gallowfall is a good set, but I personally don't like the way it plays in this new edition. And so I would say, you've waited this long, hold fire until September, and see what the next kill zone is. I don't know. Nah, so do whatever you want. I don't care. It's your hobby. But because I would never suggest anybody buys Beta Decima. Galliford's a possibility, but it might be being cycled out in September. So yeah, don't know. What kind of new kill zone would you like gameplay wise? I don't know. I think one of the fun things about Kill Team is that the rules are very hard to guess because they can just be totally made up. Right? Like there are essentially no restrictions within Kill Team. They can do anything they want at all, and they are often willing to do things really rather wacky if you want to view it that way, right? And I quite like that. So to say, for example, when Goremongers released, like, okay, Goremongers have funky legs. There are like, I could think of like 10, just super easy. I could list a bunch of different ways that they could make a thing on a model have a gameplay effect. I don't think that GW's other systems have quite that level of flexibility. So that's really cool. But it does mean that when trying to guess new kills or what are they going to do, like I never would have thought that they would put strongholds into a kill zone before. Like that's kind of crazy, isn't it? You get to fight first, you get lethal 5 if you're Blast of Torrent, doors, blah blah blah. Like there's a lot going on in a stronghold. It's really cool that we can fight in a building on an open map. Like thematically, it's super cool, Volkers. So just straight off the top of my head, Necrons, one of their big things is Tesseract and like teleportations, thanks to that, or like phasing, whatever. So maybe there are teleportation pads. There you go. That seems like an easy thing to guess. And so suddenly you would blur the lines between deployments, right? That'd be interesting. Or it's kind of like everybody gets a mini Mandrake move, but I don't know. Hang on. I've got no further but there, because it's totally made up. Why overthink a made up thing, right? The 40k version of Cola would probably be made of something horrendous, like the sinus fluid of those Necromunda worm things. It would probably be the blended up lobotomy excess from servitors, wouldn't it? Right? It would be called like Servitor, or like Liberatus Servitorum or something. Thinking of making the BT Sword Brethren into a Dark Angels proxy team, you can run the 5 Brethren plus 1 hero as both the Legionaries and Nemclaw with 0 basic warriors. Yes. Yes. So I haven't figured that out exactly, but of course I do have a video, which if you type Glass Half Dead Space Marines or Marine Proxy, you will find where I have done a video where I break down the minimum number of models you need to create to get every single model for every single Space Marine team. You know, with like maximum proxy sort of thing. But yes, that sounds very cool. And the Sword Brethren are a really great kit, to be fair. Lots going on with them. They look super cool. Victor Basara has sent RSD. No idea what that is, by the way. 100. Which means Hydratus Dominatus. Thank you. Thank you. So now Dark Angels kill team. I like Dark Angels. I don't have my Dark Angels here. My Inner Circle champions are upstairs. Oh, well, sorry, of course. Of course, I have Azrael just there. Next to Helbrecht. I'd be cool. Okay, so here's the thing. I am minorly annoyed with how elite Space Marines play in Kill Team at the moment. I don't think they're good beginner experiences to play against. But I'm an APL 3 guy. I don't like APL 2 teams. I like APL 3 teams. So that means I kind of have to play a lot of Marines. And I would like more Marines, because I would like more interesting different ways to play what is essentially the same stat line. There you go. Right, I've now jumped to the bottom there. I'm going to follow up. I'm going to go back up so I don't miss anybody's chat, because you know me, I'm literally only here to read people's chats out and then talk to them personally for some sort of weird, I don't know, best not to think about it. But quickly, because I know I'm going to ask when I get there, which was Varak's last video? Do you mean the one from last week where he said dead silence? Or has there been a new one? If it's a new one, I haven't seen it. There you go. If you mean the one from last week, I have a video that talks about that tomorrow, which you should check out. I've already gotten some heckles from my Patreons about the thumbnail we used. So there you go. Enjoy that one. And hello, Jay. That is my girlfriend. What's up, Babu? Plastic Eater, sorry, right. Wait, was that where I was? Yes. I feel like I messed up by getting the cards and equipment on eBay instead of just buying Hivestorm. Yes. Hivestorm was a really good box. Yeah. Can't lie. Can't lie. If you had access to Hivestorm, it's a really difficult one to pass up, I would say. Eddie? Coming in late? Wow. I had thought that you and Kaz would just not be here. But there you go. Good evening, all. Fashionably late tonight. Greetings to you, Andy. Awesome t-shirt. Hydratus Dominatus. Hydratus Dominatus to you too. Sorry. Hydratus Dominatus to you too, Eddie. Thank you very much. Why am I just throwing money around? Can I sell him my wife? What happens between the two of you? Enjoy. Gonna tap out. Brian, I've no doubt missed you because I'm so far behind chat, but thank you very much for dropping in. I will see you on the Patron vids. I was just off the mark for pre-order and now mine comes on for... Oh, unlucky, Ben, unlucky. So, I obviously always try to buy FLGS first, But my local one was not... They decided to change the way they pre-order this week with chapter approved last week. And I was like, I really don't want to mess up missing out on this, which is I know is going to be a limited item. And how long will it be till a reprint, blah, blah, blah. So I decided to go straight to GW, just in case. What would actually be the most overhyped, seem broken from rules, and then underperformed team? Vespid. There you go. 100%. So if you go back to Hivestorm, I said it. I know other people said it as well. Vespid on paper kind of look pretty strong. All of their guns have Dev 2. All the guns have piercing. Very, very easy to get balanced. They have fly, which, by the way, works as just a straight up teleport. You can go through walls. Don't know if you know that. So you just literally just move anywhere within 6. Like, but then they just kind of suck. Yeah, which is a bit crazy. It turns out, I guess we hadn't really realized just how important shenanigans actually are in Kill Team. If you don't have a way to shenanigan, you're going to lose the game. Pretty much. Something I see a lot of other channels that are better gamers than me say is the team is too honest. Not Vespid, they say that about Vespid, but other teams. And they will often say if a team is too honest, it can't be a top tier team. And I think that applies heavily to Vespid, it turns out. So, yeah, Vespid. We all quickly learned our lesson, but yeah, I think a lot of people thought, including me, I thought Vespid were going to be way stronger than they are. Yeah. I can get away with it because nobody expects good tactical advice from me, just to be clear. But yeah. Other people, shame on them. They should know better. If they ever agree with me, they need to rethink. That's all I'm saying. Will all approved ops change? So we don't know yet. We haven't had this sort of change before. My guess would be that everything changes. But we'll probably keep some things. So I don't expect that Volcus map layouts are going to change. I would suspect, as you say, our Crit Ops 1, 2, 3 probably won't change. I hope some others don't change. If you look at chapter approved, a lot of the stuff is very similar. They've modified 2 missions, I think, but I think like the rest of the core there is the same. But if you look at General's Handbook for AOS, it's like, it's a whole different game. They've made huge changes for the General's Handbook in how Age of Sigmar is going to play, which I think is quite interesting to contemplate. What could that then mean for Kill Team? Just how drastically are they going to change things for us? Is it going to be 40k, minor tweaks, or is it going to be General's Handbook, different game, right? Andrew Simpson has left probably 30 minutes ago now, but goodbye. Yeah, what I mean when I was like kind of like joint ops missions where you have to blow up 2 objectives and each enemy killed is a chance to respawn. Yes. We have... Okay. That exists. I know you know that, because that's why you said it. But I now don't know what the question was, and that is one of the issues with me responding to every single chat. Luke says Lamau, and of course I have no idea why, because it was half an hour ago now. I'd laugh it if Custodian's Kill Team was released and they were weak AF. Yeah, that will probably, yeah. It'll probably happen. Who knows, right? Yeah. But it could happen, that's the thing. We don't know, because it feels like, in GW's defense, they try to make everything balanced. I genuinely don't think they want one team to be better than another, right? I think they are trying to make everything, if they could snap their fingers and make every team 50% just straight down the middle, I think they would do that. But man, that is an impossible task, you know? So, yeah. Then you got to look at like things like Sanctifiers. I struggle to imagine that they really wanted Sanctifiers, the Imperial Nobodies, to be the strongest team, right? Like, clearly it's a mistake, but yeah. The best Kill Team channel And I've watched the last 10 seconds nicely. Hello, End Time Heresy. Thank you so much for dropping in. You know, I always find that to be the best, you should be the only. And that is how I am the best. Love you too, Luke. Thank you very much. Eddie, me and Kaz will be purchasing a couple of teas once the link goes live. Have I not sent that link out? How have people purchased from it? People have bought some stickers, and I don't know how. I'm very confused. Did I not put it out? Okay. Alright, fair play. Oh, you know what? I might have... I put it in the Discord. I put it in the Patreon Discord. I will post that places. There you go. I'll fix that. I'll fix that once I've stopped this live stream. Oh, hey, do you want to see a fun meme I just made? I know you're all sat there thinking, this guy, what's he doing? He clearly already has Typhon, and he's just hiding it from us. He's clearly been doing nothing but hobby for months. Why won't he share it with us? Now, let me show you what I've done. You ready for this? Let me see if I can bring it up without doxing myself. This is going to blow your minds. Can I... is it going to work? Properties. That's the one. Here we go. Here we go. You ready for this? You ready for this? This is what I've been working on just before the stream went live. Prepare yourselves, everybody. Eyes on the screen. Are you ready? Are you ready? Bam. I'll let you absorb that. Okay. I think we all see where this channel is going now. I'm a top tier memer. Keep in mind I'm colorblind, so I hope I've done this right. I'm just going to say money looks very red to me, but hopefully to you guys you're like, no, those are different colors. But there you go. Boom. I know what you're thinking. You're like, damn, Andy. Hilarious. Yes. Obviously I stole that from somebody. But their one was really, really badly. It was about one-page rules. And it was about, it was also like 4 pixels, so I remade it. There you go. I'm a bloody genius, mate. Respirator, what is this, 2020? I actually should, but oh well. PLA isn't harmful. I recently stopped vaping, so my lungs... Okay, yeah, hey, you do you. Whatever works for you. Really hoping Typhon tariff prices aren't $1 billion. I want those bugs. I'm going to ask a question. But have tariff prices kicked in for GW in the US? Genuinely curious. And how much have things gone up by? Like, how much would a $100 item be from GW in the US now? You know, Killzone Necrons. That's the dream. I love Necrons. Do you want to see some bloody Necrons? One sec. Right, so I told you this is just going to be me having a hobby stream where I talk about hobby I want to do. Right, let me lament. This is like one of the biggest plastic kits that GW does, and you know me, I'm an old man these days. I have a little bit of expendable cashola because I have no life, and this is one I've want. Who doesn't want to put 3 volts, Tesseract volts on the board, right? This is top tier stuff. Now I don't quite know what I'm going to do for the color scheme, but I decided I did want that glow. I wanted that sweet green glow, you know. So I got some color forge sprays. I got Renegade green and Salamander green. Sprayed the whole thing Renegade green, that's Dark Angels green, and then just, you know, some light stuff around the edge, a little bit on the inside guy here, with Salamander green, which is Warpstone Glow, the Citadel paint. So I can replicate these colours further if needed, add to them, etc. But this is a great little start, I think. Now I don't know where I go from here. Well, obviously steel. Like, I'm going to add metal. That's the easy next step. And I'm still doing ice bases. But yeah. There you go. This was a treat to myself. This was a treat to myself. There you go. All right. Moving on from Necrons. Right. Sorry, somebody mentioned Necrons. Now, you're wondering, Andy, why did you buy that? Because I got it because Valrak said Necrons with no proof of Necrons. And I said, oh yeah, Necrons, they're cool. And I bought it. There you go. And that's the power that marketing can have. If GW could just harness it themselves. Legit. If GW gave us a roadmap and just said, hey, in 6 months' time, we're releasing Necrons. We're not going to tell you what the Necron is, but it's releasing. I'd be like, oh, I better buy Necrons now so I'm ready for then. That is genuinely how I work. They are missing out on so much money from me. It's mad. Village Elder. Played my first game of Kill Team with my son, Void Dancer versus Hyritech. These are some complicated teams. Cinder blocks for terrain, light rules. Kid had one of his robo skillies, got 1 kill over the old man. Excellent. I actually think that the light rules are a very acceptable, decent starter rule set. We then have Jay, my girlfriend, saying hello. Hello, hello, hello. But yeah, I think that the light rules are very acceptable. Like, I really do think... So obviously I can't do this. I can't have a channel that only talks about light rules, right? That's not sustainable. You have to progress. But if I was just a player, I don't know how much of a demand I would really have on myself to move off from light rules. I'd probably stay there, if I'm honest with you. So I don't think you need to think of light rules as the stepping stone and then a full approved ops tournament play as the goal. I think you should just have fun. And if that means light rules only, cool. That's the way to do it. Joe Milton says, speaking of Gallo Dark, I recently picked up a copy. What advice do you have for someone who's only ever played Volcus moving to this new map? So you need to understand how guard works. That's a really important thing. And you also need to understand how obscured works. That is also a really important thing. Something that I found and really, honestly, heavily disliked about Gallowfall is that once you've played a few missions on it, you will find that, for me, it becomes very predictable when someone is going to get an obscured shot on you. And I found that quite a negative play experience for me. But lots of people do enjoy it, because it's just me. But yeah, so you really have to get to grips with guard. And you also really have to get to grips with having to open doors as part of your movement. So you might be playing a 2 APL team. You're thinking, okay, I can move, shoot. It's like, no, you've got to move, open a door. And then your next guy can move, shoot. And it really just slow the game down a little bit. Yeah. There you go. You just have to think about your activation order a little bit more. We then got to Coffee Cat with the asking about Valrak. I already answered that, or asked. So just like real American cola, true. Nelson Cruz, so long ago. Hello from Portugal. Hello to you too. You know, I've never been to Portugal. It does feel like somewhere that I should go, though. I'm not going to lie. Currently thinking of doing like some Spanish beaches in September or something, but maybe it could be some Portuguese beaches. I don't know. Yeah, that one. Okay, yes, Coffee Cat. I did see that video coming out tomorrow where I talk about the potential name, which is, I've got the thumbnail right here. What is it? What's it called? Oh, it's not on the thumbnail. Okay, I don't know. All right, cool. Dead Silent or something like that. He did a KT one today. Oh, cool. What did he say? Christian Angelina. Hey, hope all is well. Played for the first time with training wheels and I'm hooked. Should I be discouraged from pursuing teams with complexity? Ooh. Well, firstly, I hope you're still in the chat. But no, I don't think so. The thing is, as a new player, you can scale. Oh, I'm going to go off on one. Sorry, I'll finish your question, but then I'm gonna find something. We're all gonna have a big rant about something I saw on Reddit today. So, No, I think that the good thing about Kill Team is that there are layers of rules. So you can take the most complex team and play it in a very simple way. Because ultimately, everyone is still just a stat line that you can move and shoot. And that's it. And then as you learn the core, the basics, because you're a new player, as you say, you can then start to layer in different parts of not just the core rules, but the team itself. Now, obviously, the negative there is that, and let's be very clear on this, if you were to just play Angels of Death as your first team, you're going to win more games. And in general, people like to win games. If you're going to a very complex team that is quite weak, and you just have a losing streak of 20 games in a row, I don't know if you're making it to that 21st game, right? There you go. But if you like complicated teams, stick with it. And just be aware that you're probably going to have to do a little bit more work than people around you to start getting wins. Because yes, winning is the goal of the game. You know. Next kill team is Deathwatch versus Necrons. Is that what he said? Or is that what I've said? Varric said Deathwatch versus Necrons, Grey Knights, Berserkers and Exodites, all for kill team and this one. Oh, okay, alright, so I haven't seen any of that. So I don't know exactly what he said, to be clear. I do find that very often Varric will say something in a video and he will say, I think it's going to be this. And then everybody else says, Varric said it was this. And it's like, Varric said, I think it's this. But everybody's talking in like verbatim. Now with that said, if it is Deathwatch versus, I don't know why you said Necrons, Grey Knights. Anyway, I like all of the teams mentioned there. Deathwatch, yes. Necrons, yes. Grey Knights, yes. Berserkers? Do you mean Khorne Berserkers? We already have Khorne Berserkers. Other Berserkers? And I do like Exodites as well. I would like some Exodites, for sure. Inherently, there's something cool about elves on dinosaurs. So I will take that, yeah. Plastic Eater. I think... Well, okay, you know what? I talk about Deathwatch in tomorrow's video. I think there's two ways you can do Deathwatch. Go and watch tomorrow's video. All my patrons have already seen it, obviously. And you can get all the hot tips. Because we all have a hot tip there. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Varric has kind of fallen off lately. Interesting. Oh, okay. You don't mean in quality of content. You mean leaks getting plugged. You think? He was quite slow with the Blood and Zeal to finally nail it down. And we only got like 1 week heads up for Typhon, the Typhon reveal. But I don't think so. He's never had as deep and interesting kill team leaks as he had in 40k leaks, it does feel. But, I mean, well, we will find out, right? If the next leak is Deathwatch versus Necrons, then leaks aren't plugged, right? He's still pumping them out, which is great. But it would be cool to get GK Terminators and a Deathwatch kill team to match the Imperial Agents Codex in a big... That would be absolutely sweet. Yes, that would be amazing. I can't lie. It would also then mean that within kill team and our Imperial Weirdo stuff, we basically have an actual 40k army because we have so many points pulling together for the Imperial Agents Codex. Can't lie, that would be absolute fire. Also, I'm a huge fan of Deathwatch and Grey Knights, so I would have to pay attention to that. I was terrified of Vespers in my first game against them. The first two turning points I was getting massacred, but after that I actually managed to pull the win. I was playing Deathcore. Ooh, yeah. So, I have only played Vespids into Marines. I don't think I've played them into anything else. No, that's not true. I went to a tournament with Vespids. And I played Eldar, Farstalkers, Vespid, and Aquilons. So, in my casual games, I've only played them into Elites. But at a tournament, because I didn't know what I was supposed to do, I did play them into a bunch of teams I had never played before, which probably wasn't ideal. But yeah. I don't like teams that hit on 4s. There you go. Doesn't matter how many rerolls you give me. Unless you give me Relentless, I don't like a team that hits on 4s. Straight up. I just don't like dice being against me. And If your dice are on hitting on 4s, the dice are against you half the time. Right, I wanted to show you guys, we're going to have a rant, okay? Give me a moment. Can I figure out where this is? Yes. Yes. I'm really sorry if I haven't caught up with chat yet. I know I haven't, but I have to show you this so that I can rant about it. Okay, everybody, we watching? Nope, that's not live. Okay. What's going wrong here? Let's go there. Here we go. Boom. Okay. We can't see it very well. That doesn't matter. It's fine. You don't need to see the whole thing. Okay, you see this behind me. Somebody showed off these really cool Marines, which I think look awesome. Here we go. I'll move it above me. There you go. You see these? Really cool Marines. He's done something funky with them. I really like it. Apparently he's going Canada, and he played them as whatever, Angels of Death, don't know. And went to a tournament with them because he'd only played like one game, and so he wanted to go to a tournament to get a bunch of games in. So he did that. Cool. Awesome. I think he's done something funky with his Marines. I really like it. I think it's awesome. Now, apparently the TO there ruled that when it came to visibility, they could use his big back feathers to shoot him. And I'm like, man, that is the worst call from a TO I've seen. Like, yeah, I think that's so anti-hobby. I don't know. I don't know. Really, really, yeah. I'm legit saddened by that. I think that TO needs a talking to. I understand why they made the ruling they did. It's raw. I do understand that. But it's so easy, especially on this particular model here, to just say, you can't shoot the feathers. In the same way, I would expect if I had a big banner on one of my guys to just say, oh, don't use the banner for visibility. And they'd be like, oh, okay, can't shoot the banner. Cool. Say, don't shoot the feathers. It's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. There you go. There you go. I had to get that out of the way. We've all seen it. I'll go back to chat. If you guys say anything about that, when I get there in half an hour, I will read it. There you go. Right. Typhon when? Don't know. End of June. Mid to end of June. Maybe July. Depending on what Horus Heresy does to us. I'm about to finish playing up my Vesper team and haven't played them yet, but I'm hoping the best. I think they're totally fine now. They've had a load of buffs. Facts. It's 1/3 women. Is it? Really? Okay, I'm going to have to redo that meme in that case. You get women via kill team. Don't know. Ask my girlfriend. I think that's the only reason she's with me. Yeah, to be honest with you. Yeah. Yeah. Were those the same colour? I swear they were different. Anyway, whatever. I'll figure that out later. All right. But to you normal-eyed people, they look so similar that you think I'm saying kill team gets you women. Then clearly I need to change that. All right. Meme looks good. Decided on Bristol GT yet, anime dude. So yes, I was really considering whether or not to go. Oh, Academic Chris. Hydratus Dominatus. There you go. Thank you. And a sip. The Chaos Gods. So. Oh no. Okay, right. I'm gonna have to workshop some real help about what to change those colours to. Both are blue. Okay. They were very different shades though, weren't they? Anyway, I'll figure it out. Right. Yeah, so I was gonna go, but then I booked a holiday to Poland, and the Bristol GT would be on the Saturday, right? And then I would leave on the Tuesday. I know my luck, I would get sick. There you go. I'm not going to ruin my holiday to stream a game. There you go. Yep. So maybe next time. I did reach out to the TOs, etc. They were more than happy to let me. So good for them. Glad to hear it. Yeah, there you go. There would have been no guarantee of any sort of internet connection. It was very much a case of, yeah, you can be there and do it. We're not going to stop you. But we don't, you know, they're not really streamers. That's not their business model. So they're just like, yeah, we'll let you. It's what it is. If there's no internet, there's no internet. Sorry. Which would kind of suck. But it's what it is. I mean, he does have a woman. Yeah, I clearly need to figure out that meme. Okay, I will change colours. I'll change colours. Regarding tariffs, not yet. I spoke to my GW store manager and they said they were still planning on maintaining prices for the foreseeable future, but that could change. Okay, that's good to know. In fairness, GW is very good about telling you when they're going to increase prices. So that makes sense. Nice Necron lampshade. Right? Looks awesome. So far I haven't noticed any impacts from tariffs or sprues. Okay, it's good, it's good. Love the brown you use on that model. Crimson Bunny, don't you dare. I know that was green because the colour on the thing says green, okay? Don't trick me. Those wanting the HD merch, I guess the chat removes links. Ah, that makes sense, doesn't it, though? That makes sense. I guess I link it? Maybe? Don't even know where it is, to be honest. That's not it. This was ages ago. Okay. I've like DIY'd a whole room since I posted this. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can post a link to my own chat. And then everybody in chat. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Everybody in chat, if you are interested in some sweet Hydratus Dominatus merch. There you go. Red bubs. Just so you know, I'm not pushing that. That's not like my next big money maker. It's just I wanted a t-shirt for myself because I say it as a joke. So I commissioned an artist to do the drawing. And yeah, so there you go. But thank you for trying, Brian. Greece is great in September. I've never been to Greece. Yeah, Greece, Cyprus, all that stuff. Never been. I definitely need to go, obviously. Luke, he was very wrong about GK versus demons. Yeah, he seems super sure that's what it was, Blood and Zeal. Yes, that is fair. I think it's... Again, so look, I don't know. But I feel like he will often say, I think it's this. Or he says, I've heard this, and so it must be this. And people take that as verbatim. I don't know, though. Gotcha, and appreciate the insight. Take a few days to consider all the great options and pull the trigger on a team. Lovely, lovely. Liritob, Revalak, he's still going on about Wolf Scouts and Grey Knights versus Khorne Berserkers. Crazy to think they make sense in the near future given the last 18 months of releases. So I talk about Wolf Scouts in tomorrow's video, so I won't say anything about that. I'd love Grey Knights versus Khorne Berserkers. That would be a load-blowing box, my good sir. We all love to blow our loads in a box, so why not have it be Grey Knights versus Khorne Berserkers? Luau Marines, you know it. Aztec Lizardmen looking arse. Yes. Visibility rules are weak. I agree. Yes. How are we not just using cylinders? Am I right? Snap the wonderfully painted feathers off while making eye. Yeah. That's the way to do it. I agree. You're plucking your Marines before you go to tournaments, right? You know it. You got to prune. Yeah. She's gonna marry you and then divorce you to get half your overpriced plastic. No, not my plastic. I'm leaving you and taking the Raveners. She'll never take the Tyranids from me. I'll give her the Sanctifiers, right? Yeah. give her the ones I don't like. So far the US is not being affected by tariffs, but that might change soon. That's good. Whoa, you have DIY'd a whole room. Why are we in Black Sheet Land? What do you mean? Because this is where I can sit down and chat. I don't want to stand up for the whole 2 hours of the stream. It's way too much. Why do you think Warcry did not sell as good as KT? Because the IP of 40k is all dominant. There you go. Hey, when she likes Drukari and Emperor's Children, she does not, unfortunately. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that means anything. She probably should like those teams, but she doesn't. I haven't really sold it to her that, hey, they're the sex teams. But I don't want to be that guy. But yeah, there you go. Is what it is. Arik, Gdansk. Up in the old Tri-City. Some random Airbnb I'm paying far too much for. Is it okay to start the hate on the new NIDS team? I haven't seen any numbers yet, but I already know they're going to smash me. Tim, everyone that's ever met me across the board in a darkened alley has smashed me as well. So, you know, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. 5 models, probably like 50 wounds each. Or at least when I play them, they will be, somehow. Don't know how, but yeah. Are you ever going to do the stereotypical teach my GF kill team vid, or did you already? When she was last round, I did play a game of kill team with her, but she did not want to be filmed. So there you go. Which is fair, because if you think about what that video is, you're in essence saying, look at this person that doesn't know anything. Aren't they silly? Let's make a video about it. And ultimately it's quite patronizing. So there you go. I know that that wouldn't be like, you know, there's lots of channels that do the I explain Warhammer to my girlfriend kind of thing. And that's not how they're meant to be, but if you think about what's actually happening in that video, the person that doesn't know what's happening, there's actually a lot of pressure on them to like perform, whereas I just have to like say facts. But yeah, you know. Anyway, back to Warcry. Yeah, so I do think, look, Kill Team's a good game. However, let's be honest, if Kill Team wasn't in Warhammer, I don't think many people would be playing it, right? I think that it has used the 40k IP to launch itself. And I think that actually most people would be more than happy to have a much, much simpler, faster game. And I actually think it would sell better as well if they did that. There you go, for the skirmish version of Warhammer 40,000. The fact that Kill Team is doing as well as it is great, of course. But if it wasn't Warhammer, I don't think there's anything about it that would really, truly make it jump out from the crowd. Sounds like I'm crapping on. I'm really not. There are so many great things about Kill Team, but the complexity level, alongside, well, I guess we can't talk about the monetization of it, because if it wasn't Warhammer, it wouldn't be with the GW. But it is as 40k itself is a game that thrives because it has the Warhammer IP attached to it. Yeah. Is my view. I could be wrong, of course. You know, is what it is. But again, just to clarify, there are many, many very cool mechanics in Kill Team. I do want to point that out. And it's only my own personal preference that I would prefer a simpler game. Of course, there are some people where Kill Team is the best game. Just to be clear. It's not my personal best game, but there. Mansplaining, marinesplaining. Yeah, I could probably do that. That's a good one, actually. Yeah, I can make a reel out of marinesplaining. Yeah, I could do that. Also, Warcry started with the off-brand Chaos stuff, which was very cool, but limiting at the time that Warcry came out. It was a banger, though. Yeah, so Warcry is always a weird one because it's their only game, GW's only game, that actually won like an outside award or any form of recognition, which is a tough one because it's now been scrapped. So, hey, outside awards doesn't mean people buy it, I guess. Or at least people buy it to the point that it self-sustains and funds itself. I would have to assume the issue for Warcry is partly accounting within GW and how we know they are splitting up Like, I don't think we're ever going to get another kill team. Well, I know we're not going to, right? We're never going to get another kill team that's a White Dwarf kill team where to get the kill team, you have to buy 40k models, right? Like the early White Dwarf teams. You know, they're happy to splash in an Ogrim box or some Reavers, whatever, but I don't think we'll ever go back to White Dwarf teams. Because if we want kill team to continue existing, you have to buy an item that says kill team on the front of it. Because if you don't, and you buy 40k stuff and modify it to be kill team, and if every single person does that, GW's accountants have decided that if it doesn't have the brand for that specific game, we can't possibly track the increase in sales for 40k from kill team. Therefore, kill team does not sell, we will scrap it. Even if everybody is in reality buying 20 boxes to do crazy conversions for kill team, right? So you have to have that brand, and that's where Sigmar went wrong. They allowed everyone to just go and buy Age of Sigmar models, and then presumably for Warcry they didn't in any way factor in the fact that it's not a competitive tournament game, so you can't track the player base by that, and it's also not a, it is majority played with Age of Sigmar models. There you go. So why would you, it's like, why would you play the kind of lame, boring mortal dudes when you can play the awesome dudes, right? And I imagine that's how most people wanted to play their games. And so it didn't sell. Pure speculation, obviously, we have no idea. Thank you, Eric. I shall. I've been to Gdansk quite a few times. I mainly hang around Gdansk Old Town, but I go to Sopot every now and again. Not much. Mansplaining. Practice my Optimus Prime impression in front of my girlfriend. Yeah. Why not? That sounds fun. I'm a firm believer that if your partner can't handle your obsessions, what are they doing? It's probably the wrong partner for you. There you go. I like the big armies of 40k, but me and my friends play way more kill team because of how much faster the matches are and how much cheaper it is when fielding a full army. I understand that. Yeah, for me, to a certain degree, we all have our own limits, obviously. But for me, I don't really care about the price difference between kill team and 40k. I would happily just play 40k. So the price difference there, the one box price thing for kill team, is barely a selling point for me. I will happily spend, $1,000 on an army if I think it's worth my time and cool enough, But I understand that is a thing, right? And everyone's in different stages and different tolerances for it. It is what it is. But I do miss how cool the big 40k armies are. If you've seen my reels, and statistically you have, because a lot more people see those than my short videos. Or especially my, whatever these are, live streams. I did one where I'm like putting down the Tau army and then the Sisters of Battle army. And at the end I say, oh, shoot, well that was like the best bit of the game. Should we just pack up now? It's like, yeah. That is me. Genuinely, having a full army on the board looks super cool. Fully painted, 2 armies on the board, awesome terrain. That's fun as hell. That's what I want. It's just a shame, unfortunately, that playing the game isn't that, right? You have to blend so many interests and hobbies together for what the final output is, and they're very disparate, Yeah, Warcry was a lot faster paced, but it feels like 40k IP allows the game to have a complexity above what a less regular. Yes, Busky, I agree. Sure, yeah. I mean, the weight of the 40k IP is immense, right? And we can see it in the fact that GW is absolutely booming at the moment. Stock is higher than it's ever been before. It's genuinely at an all-time high. I don't hold any stock, sadly. It is what it is. That's on me. My bad. And yeah, they are only going from strength to strength. I recently saw somebody ask on Reddit, hey, why does this cost so much? I was like, well, because they can charge that and they are always out of stock. They literally run at capacity and they sell everything. Like, yeah, they're doing fine. They can charge more. They probably should, which is terrifying. I really hope they don't, but they could. That's crazy. That's how insane the 40k IP is. I'm thinking of getting into Spearhead, as I have heard some good things. We're not sure about Faction. Always like Skaven. I've played a few games of Spearhead, and I did just pre-order the new Spearhead set in Shaiish. So that's cool. And the General's Handbook, as mentioned. So I'm looking forward to that. I can't really tell you what's going on with Spearhead. Yeah, don't know. Like, I view Spearhead as a mess around game to learn the rules before going to play 2K Sigmar. There you go. I would even say that once you understand Spearhead, forget 1K Sigmar, just go to 2K. Because Sigmar is such a smaller game than 40k. Well, unless you go crazy with spam, which you can do, but don't do that. And like, yeah, that's, yeah. I forgot what I was saying, but yeah. Spearhead was a fun little mess around game, which I think is great that exists, of course. Crazily to think that might be that's what killed Warcry, because Combat Patrol. Spearhead was such a success and actually led people into Sigmar, you know? But no, I couldn't tell you what faction box is good or bad or anything. I also don't connect with Spearhead in that way, right? I'm never going to be someone that ranks the power level of a Spearhead box, right? I might say, oh, this one's more fun, you know? But I'm not going to say, oh, well, if you go to a Spearhead tournament, this is the most overpowered Spearhead box. I don't think it's meant to be that type of experience. I mean, hey, everybody has different things that they enjoy. I just don't think it should be, yeah. So I have no thoughts is what I'm saying. I don't know enough. I played a few games. I wonder if future Kill Team will all have named operatives then. That'd be cool. But no, I don't think we need it. I think they can still be generics. Right? Don't know. Yeah, if the Kill Team Specialist game lads want to tackle fantasy, the old world might be better if they don't want model cross-pollination. Yeah, sure, we might go back to Mordheim, I think is the big thing. A lot of people speculate. Personally, I don't want to. Let Mordheim exist. Let it be its thing. We don't need to go back to that. But bring us a Mordheim-like experience in Age of Sigmar. That'd be cool. Go for it, painting. Hello. Hello to you too. Are you ever planning to do a cosplay? If so, what would you like to do? Ooh, the Demonculaba, obviously. Is there any other answer to that? As a true man of the male gaze, I obviously want to be a Catachan because I want to be ripped and muscle-bound. I want to be a muscle-bound freak of a human. Yeah, I think that is also the next step. But because I'm realistic, my cosplay would not be able to be topless. So I guess from there we would go with some sort of... probably Inquisitor. The reason I say Inquisitor, instead of like a guardsman or something, is because I've seen cosplays for guardsmen, for Fire Warriors Tau, and they don't look very good, you know? And I don't think that's in any way a negative on the cosplayers. I think they've just faithfully recreated either one for one, they've just taken, this is exactly what is on the model and I've put it on myself, or they've tried to rough it up and make it look more realistic. I think in both instances, it just doesn't work. So the one where they've gone one-to-one is just like, that kind of looks a bit dumb. Because, yeah, it's made for miniatures. Makes sense that it doesn't look good when you've blown it up to real-life size. And then on the flip side, the ones that have kind of taken that, but then modified it to make it real, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. You look cool. You look like a soldier. But you don't look like a Cadian. You know, you just look like a soldier from a war, right? So yeah, so it wouldn't be them. I'm not really fussed about Space Marines. Tyranids probably be on my skill level. Ditto for Necrons. Ditto for Orcs. Don't have the muscles for Orcs. I suppose not. I don't know. The answer is yes, it would be cool. No, I'm not going to do it. There you go. You finally have more than 75 XP. Maybe this is a feature that is like literally just... Yeah, you're capped at 150 now. So maybe it's 75 an hour. How strange. How strange they think anybody wants this system. But whatever. I bought my first kill team scouts because I could run them as part of my 40k army. Yeah. Almost every time I pick up a kill team, I'm like, do I like this kill team enough to then run a 40k army? That's how I view most things. Yeah. If I get inspired by a 40k, by a kill team, I might start a 40k army because of it. That's exactly how that Necron Tesseract Vault just got bought, because I got excited about a rumor about Necrons in like 6 months' time. There you go. Imagine what will happen when I actually get the Necron team, if it exists. Like, oh my god, whoops. Anyway, my biggest draw to kill team is easy variability. It's a lot easier to buy a new, totally different kill team than start an army. That goes to kit passion too. You can make each model more custom. Very true, of course. That is definitely one of the things that is very cool about kill team. As they say, 40k is deep waters, right? But kill team is wide waters, shallow. It's a shallow pool, but it's a shallow sea. I don't know. Basically, kill team goes wide, not deep, is how the kill teamers term it. They expect you. They don't want faction loyalists. In 40k, you have faction loyalists, and that makes total sense because you have to spend so much money to just play a 2k point game. So by the time you've spent all that money, done all that hobby, and played a bloody game, you're like, well, I either love this army, or I clearly hate myself. Possibly both. But to do a kill team, nah, you can kind of do that. You know, it's fine. So they very much don't want faction loyalty in kill team. They want you to just try whatever you fancy. A friend of mine's dad bought him GW stock when we were both into it as kids. Oh, that's pretty good. Nice. No longer follows GW and occasionally asks me if he should sell it. Yeah, well, don't, apparently. It's going great. Service Gold cosplay could go kind of nutty. Yes. That would be, I don't think I'm small enough. Look, I'm a short king, but I don't know about that, you know? That's maybe too small, even for me. Yeah, Mordheim, AOS with kill team content cadence would be great. Yeah, that'd be sweet. I'd love it. I think you could make a very convincing commissar. I could do commissar. Yeah, yeah. But I have a commissar behind me, and actually they're just a long coat. It's not the, I don't know, long coat with a cap. I think I'd basically look like M. Bison. That's the more interesting cosplay. So, I'm planning to slowly make a Kriegsman cosplay, but one that will probably become a priority to me as a commissar. Oh, there you go. Commissar it is. Easy. Max Hussey did a laugh. Very good. Dan Scripted. I played my first game of Kill Team last week, and your videos were really helpful. One thing I felt I was missing, though, was having a game plan for objectives and ploys. Me and you both, mate. I don't know how to play the bloody game. I can read the rules. I can't tell you how to win. No. So, yes, obviously, when you're learning the game, I learn the core rules, and then learn your team's rules, and then start having plans. There you go. That's kind of the way to go with it. Odd as it might sound, having plans, having strategy is actually the final step. along the way, because that's in theory when you know everything. But I also think you're going to find a lot of people on Kill Team on YouTube are going to talk about gotchas and MPEs, etc. But you only really get them when you're trying to actually win and guess what the opponent can do, you know? Before that, and you're just learning things, kind of there aren't gotchas, because everything's a gotcha. But yeah, you will hit kind of, there are plateaus within Kill Team of like your skill level and what you start butting up against. I'm still at that. That's my natural level. I get gotcha'd and I find that annoying, but I don't want to, and I like winning, of course, but I don't want to put enough effort into the game to learn every gotcha so I no longer get gotcha'd and get better at the game. I don't care that much. But of course we have Brian with $2, and that means Hydratus Dominatus. Thank you, my good sir. Thank you, thank you. If I were over 10 feet, I'd rock a Death Leaper cosplay. That would be very cool. That would be very cool. Doesn't the Death Leaper have a skirt? I guess it could be a kilt. Be fine. Interesting. So it clearly remembers XP beyond the cap of the leaderboard, but doesn't remember it when it raises the cap, because I'm currently... Yeah. It's not a good system, right? And I think we can safely say that. I'll legally wait the Spiffing Brit video where he figures out some way to exploit the XP. Oh, it must be coming, right? Yeah, yeah. It's probably already landed as I'm doing this stream. Jaeger cosplayers just be short and wear a coat. I could do that. I could do that. Yeah. I don't think I'd want to cosplay any of the, what are they called? Leagues of Votan. None of them look cool enough yet, if I'm honest. Compared to anything else you could cosplay from Warhammer, they aren't really cosplay worthy to me yet. You could pull off a Commissar Yarrick cosplay. Harsh words from Toondar there. Harsh words. Because YouTube is an RPG. Super chat, lovely. Play Kill Team like an idiot savant is done well for me so far. Yes, I think that I often forget the savant part of that, unfortunately. I feel those matches my group plays in entirely different as we slowly figure out what rules we are getting wrong each match and try to fix the next match. Great. You're learning as a meta, as a group. That's exactly how it's supposed to go. Perfect. Why do you think the team, or what do you think the team rules for servitors will be? And will they have the APL debuff that Inquisition Servitor has? I don't know. If I'm honest, I really haven't thought much about the AdMech for Typhon. You know, I've got no clue. Yeah, no idea at all. I'm obviously more focused on what are the Raveners going to be, because there's so much interesting things about that. It's like, ooh, the first 5 model team. Tyranids. We've heard that they're going to have some sort of tunnel mechanic. Does that just mean they're Space Marines but have Mandrake teleports? Sounds mad. What are they going to do? So yeah, I've got no idea what AdMech are going to do, sadly. But I would assume that they have the APL debuff that the Inquisition Servitor has, right? Because it's the same model. Is it the same model? It might actually be literally an identical sculpt, right? And so, but either way, it's still a servitor, right? With a big gun. So I would assume that is just, this is a servitor ability. How does Kill Team RNG compare to Blood Bowl RNG? Oh, totally different systems. Blood Bowl, you can kind of order your activations so that you can avoid the worst of the RNG. Kill Team less so, because I don't know, because yeah, it's just a very different game. Also, I'm not a Blood Bowl savant, unfortunately, so I can't say too much. Does the XP do something? No. Or at least this is the first stream it's been in. I've got no idea what it does. It just annoys people from what I can tell. I wanted to make some Kill Team terrain, my own custom stuff. What advice and suggestions could you pass on? Many thanks. Interesting one, Stephen Williams. So, whenever I'm looking for good terrain, I always look for thin walls. There you go. The reason for that is that if you have a big blocky piece of terrain, even if it's super cool, it takes up a large amount of floor space that then is an unplayable piece of the floor, and you've shrunk the kill zone. Whereas, because of the way kill team works and heavy terrain, obscurity, etc., having a thin wall just, in a sense, thanks to obscurity, creates as large of an area as having a large piece of blocky terrain there, but you can also move through it. And of course, ultimately, Kill Team is a game of movement, as all GW games are. And so that you want to create the maximum effect with the minimum amount of floor space taken up, I suppose is the way I'd phrase it. But also, really cool, do whatever you want. There you go. Yeah. Oh, I would also probably say one thing that I see when I see people doing their own boards is they will do a fixed board. I understand that looks cool. I would probably suggest that maybe you don't want to do a fixed board, because you're only then going to have one way to play. And I promise you it's going to get stagnant relatively quickly. Yeah, you need different layouts and maps, for sure. Bunch of people here. US, ranking Hyrotech as S tier after 20 wins as top anti-elite. Thoughts? Yes, so I've followed Shane's journey, emotional journey through Hyrotech, where he won. And then he came out in a video and said, verbatim, go check the vids. I assume they're still up. He said verbatim, word for word. He said, Hyrotech Circle have been nerfed into the ground. Somebody at Games Workshop must absolutely hate them. This team is dead. That wasn't a good pun. It wasn't a good pun. He just thinks they're genuinely dead. And then, didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks. And then, like, 2 months later or something, he's like, oh, so I just won a tournament with them. Turns out they're really, really strong. Who knew? And it's like, okay. And I actually really like that example. No shade to Shane, of course. But I think it's a really good example that a very good player can very easily be blindsided by their own kind of biases. Incredibly easy, right? No, I don't think anybody would doubt Shane's skill at the game and his general ability to deconstruct the game and be a content creator for it, etc., etc., and reason his arguments. But even then, even with the clear examples that he has shown where he's able to do that and be non-biased, etc., when he had this emotional bias towards a team, which he felt were unfairly nerfed, he just went off the wall. And he became incredibly wrong. I would argue we've never seen a more wrong statement from him, other than Hyrotech. And obviously now he's realised that, and he's kind of said, oh yeah, okay, I was a bit wrong there, wasn't I? So I would probably say, yeah, it's easy for people to get stuck in their own heads about certain builds and ways to do things, and I think that you actually see this a lot if you're a 40k or Age of Sigmar person. So, whenever a new codex comes out and your favourite unit gets nerfed, and you're like, oh, team's broken. I'm gonna sell the army because they've totally ruined the team. I'll buy it again in 3 years when GW gets their balls together. But then somebody else will come and say, oh, look at this combo. Oh, actually, it turns out this army is now literally stronger than it's ever been before. And that person will be like, yeah, that's just not how I play it though. So, oh, okay. So obviously with Hyrotech, everybody was so focused on the Plasmancer, Psychomancer, that they didn't even look at the other abilities. And why would you when that guy was so outrageously OP? And I also think that's a really great thing to look at. that even top tier man. I've been watching a lot of the you know, content creators last month or so, and there are some really bad takes out there. I'm not saying from Shane, from Come Up. I'm talking about, I've watched a whole load of them. All the ones we all know. I'm listening to them and I'm like, these guys are saying some wild stuff. Is this what's going on out there? I need to say wilder things. Damn. Which to me, they're just not wrong. That's the wrong word. But they're playing in such a different meta to me, clearly, that they must be right, but damn, yeah, it's very interesting is what I'm saying. And just be aware that personal biases, doesn't matter how good somebody's calls normally are, they can easily be wrong. That's all I'm saying on that one. I've obviously lost track of where I'm going with this one, but obviously go and check out Command Point, great channel. I like to listen to them on a regular basis. They've just done a tier list. They've also started to actually release podcast episodes again, so that's really cool. But presumably, yeah, they're good at killing elites. I have not played as or against Hyrotech this edition, so I can't really say, unfortunately. I was going to 2 weeks ago, but ended up not playing. Oh, okay, so Yarrick is dead. I thought that was the joke. He's just bones. I thought you were saying, looking, lost a bit of weight there, Andy. Just a bit gaunt. Gaunt ghosts. Yeah, no, Yarrick's dead. I thought you were saying I could cosplay a dead man. I thought that was the joke. Okay. Sure, I could do Yarrick, I suppose. I don't really know what he looks like apart from the bale eye, you know. The weapons they've shown are different, so it's not the same sprue, but the same style of servitor is sure. Neat. Yeah, okay, cool. Reddit told me Necrons were the least fun to play against. Is this fake news? So, no, they're pretty bad to play against. In fairness, their worst feels bad was the Psychomancer, who had the worst aura in the world, and I'm shook that GW let that go out the door as it is. It's still really not fun to play against, but it is better than it was. Now, they have a minus to your movement. Very easy to put down a huge minus to your move. And Kill Team is a game of movement shenanigans, ultimately. And they can stop that very easily, without really threatening themselves to do it. So, yeah, they kind of suck to play against. Which is a real shame, because I really enjoy Necrons. But Hyrotech are not the best team to play against, I would say. Not that they're auto wins, right? It's not like, oh, I'm playing Hyrotech, I'm going to auto win this game. Nope. Doesn't matter what you're playing into. There are very few auto wins, I would say. And Hyrotech definitely are not one of them. So, there you go. It does earn you some hydration fund. Hydratus Dominatus, everybody. Almost finished. +1 on keeping the wall thin. Yep. Those armor containers are cool, but they do take up a lot of the kill zone. They do, yeah. Hi Andy, this is Kaz running D&D tonight, so can't watch. But I want to say I'm here in spirit. Thank you very much, Eddie/Kaz. Enjoy your D&D. I shall see you in tomorrow's video. Oh, you've already commented on tomorrow's video. I'll see you in a Patreon video soon. There you go. You sort of have to do a fixed board for trenches, which is a shame. You do, that is true, yeah. Nobody's truly nailed the trench board plus modularity yet, so, which is very difficult, so that's understandable. Yeah. Do you feel that same bias about Hyrotech is applied to other maybe lower ranked teams that indeed are much better than people perceive? Yes. There you go. So, well, I don't know, it's really difficult to say. So, 100% yes. I think there are some teams out there that, for whatever reason, people don't... So a good one is, of course, Blades of Cain. Blades of Cain, for the first 3-4 months of the edition, were thought of as being the F tier, worst team in the game. It was like, oh, GW's really screwed this team up. And then they got taken to LVO and won 8 of the 9 rounds. And in essence, won the tournament. They didn't. Sammy, who's been on the channel with his Warp Coven, actually won the tournament. The reason I say that the Blaziken essentially won is because, from what I recall, so it was a 9-round tournament, and going into the 9th round, Blaziken were actually the only undefeated round. The only reason that the Blaziken had to play another team that was not undefeated is because everybody else had been defeated. So in an odd way, they didn't have enough players for the number of rounds, if that makes sense. And so everybody thought they sucked, but then they came out and they absolutely stomped tournaments. And if you look at their win rates, they're actually doing fine. But yeah, for a long time, people thought Blaziken sucked. Hello, Jin of the Sheep. Good to see you. Talking of Blaziken, we have an Eldar in our midst himself. Hello. And so I'm sure that there are other teams. However, you've also got to think of what my bias is. I am not going to run a team against Warp Coven. I'm not going to run a team against Sanctifiers. I don't have to care about them. I can talk about easier to beat teams and say, actually, I think Vespid are okay. I think Breachers have play. I think Kassakin can do some things. Because I'm not running them into the top tier teams. I'm running them into the slightly lower tiers. I'm running them into Legionary and into AOD, which are still good teams. But they're not the top tier teams, are they? And so that is very much my bias. So I'm sure I could pick up Breachers, whatever, who are currently considered to be the worst team in the game, and win a game into something, Farstalkers, whatever, and say, oh, there you go, I did all right, actually, didn't I? And everybody would say, okay. But when I'm taking a team to a tournament, when I'm evaluating a team, I'm not going to play Farstalkers. I'm going to play 4 rounds of Warp Coven, followed by 4 rounds of Goremongers, and then finish with Sanctifiers, right? Breachers aren't going to win me that. And I'm like, oh yeah, good point. Yeah, you're right. Don't take Breachers. So I think that when you're looking at how things are stated online, just keep in mind that everybody has their own ideas of what they're trying to do. Yeah. What do you think causes people to be so wrong about these things? 2 things, probably, again, what I just said at the other, internal biases. Everybody has a different idea of their goal and what they're trying to accomplish. And I think that often, I mean, online, text, very challenging to just talk over, right? You know, you can't put, hey, before I send this text, read my wall of like hopes and inspirations and goals, and then you'll have context for why I'm saying what I'm saying. So we just say things and we assume that everybody else is going towards the same goal as us. So I suspect it's a lot of crosstalk where one person will say, this is a really good team. I've dominated my local meta with this team. It's like, oh, wow, cool. I play against my 2 children. It's like, oh, okay, fair enough. How old are they? 2. It's like, okay, all right, fair enough. Cool. And it's like, they're true. When they said their first statement, I dominated my local meta. They were correct. But that doesn't mean anything, etc. So I do think it's partly that. Also, yeah, just... I don't know. Moving on. I've talked about this for a very long time now, and I'm losing chat again. I managed to sound like 6% of the lads going, well done, Tuna. I've already said hello to Jin. Hello. Double hi, Andy. GWW told about Year of Chaos, but we only got 2 out of 9 teams. Yeah, I don't think they were talking about Kill Team, Alex. I'm not sure they were aware Kill Team existed when they said that. I had assumed that they had meant 40k, but they might have meant Sigmar. In fairness, 40k has just got Death Guard, Khorne Berserker, World Eaters, and Slanesh people. What are they called? Emperor's Children. And Chaos Knights is coming soon. Yeah, like they have kind of had all of the chaos this year. Good thing that 40k resets next year. Great. What a good system they have over there. Mad. What is your Grinch Max Absolute Nightmare worst case scenario for the Season 2 box set as far as rules changes or lack thereof, Killzone theme and teams? Just an entire season of 10 model Imperium teams. There you go. Every single one has a medic and a comms and 2 gunners. There you go. That sounds really, really dull. I am going to really struggle if that's what they do. But I know they won't, so it's fine. But that's a possibility. I will say, for example, Blood and Zeal, I had 0 interest. I tried my best to psych myself up, but I just didn't really enjoy the teams, it turns out. But then Brutal and Cunning, I did like that. I like Xenos, so I was like, oh, Orcs, cool. And so I played those. I actually played the teams before I did my reviews. So I definitely feel the impact of my excitement for teams. So I hope that all teams are good. Is all I can say on that. Blooded, yes, of course. So that was Chris Backey again, who really brought the Blooded to everybody's light, that they are actually a very good team. Whereas he also did the Blades of Cain. So awesome. Yeah, he's a great player. Thoughts on Beta Decima RN? I wouldn't tell people to buy it. Don't know what else to say, really. Always felt Bok were okay. Yeah, Bok are okay, it turns out, yeah. Just bought my first Kill Team box. Rattlings, no Ogryns or Bulgrins, though. Okay, how do you say they are without the Ogryns and Bulgrins? People say they're playable, but I do not know how they are playable without Ogryns. Oh, well, Bulgrins. The Ogryn chassis. I think that if you're not running Bulgrins, you're running a very difficult team. It's possible that you don't want to run 3 Bulgrins, but I really... I would run 3. I would always run 3. There you go. But I will say I haven't actually played that many Rattlings. I haven't played Rattlings at all since Brutal and Cunning released, so I can't really... I'm not a Rattling pro, is all I can say. But yeah. They just weren't top table. I feel everyone complains about teams that aren't top tier. Yes, Jin, I don't know if you're still here, but I agree with you. Perhaps that was what I was trying to get to there. I think that a lot of the content out there is very focused on top table, right? And I understand why, of course. There's lots of reasons for that. But so you then get a lot of creators saying, this team isn't good. And it's like, okay, that's true. But to us laymen's, that not good team can still beat every other team in the game, right? But if you're at the top table, it can't. It's probably not getting you to the top table. And it's not keeping you at the top table. It's not winning you that top table. It's not getting you that golden ticket. But at just a casual level, if somebody with Breach has played into me, it doesn't matter what team I'm playing, and they really know their team, they can beat me. The team's not that bad that I could beat a good player, I would say. But then, of course, when you're like, you can't put that proviso at the start of every sentence you say, right? So at some point, you just have to say the statement and then move on and stop giving everything context. So I really like my Corsair Void Guard. Corsairs are very cool. It's interesting that they're losing such a cool kit in September, I've got to say. But yeah, a new kill team's typically overtuned. No. There you go. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, I think, but oh gosh, what's the time to end stream? I'm dying here, guys. No, I don't think so. No. There you Obviously, Blood and Zeal, both very overtuned, both need nerfs. But if you go back and look at Rattlings and Wrecker Crew, both pretty mid-tier. And if you go back and look at Aquilons and Vespid, both very bottom tier and have needed multiple rounds of buffs. So I think it's all scattergun. I genuinely don't think that GW deliberately releases overtuned teams. We've had as many overtuned teams as undertuned teams, if you want to view it that way. I think it's just they're aiming for 50, as they should do, and sometimes they miss 50. Jonas Barker basically giving you the same answer. I'm there, basically. Yep, cool. Getting the 4th Legion Cult Army 40k makes it the most Year of Chaos in years. Yes, the 4 Legions. Not the 4th Legion? Oh, is the 4th Legion the Emperor's Children? Okay, right. Yeah. The most interesting part of Blood and Zeal for me was the statue. Yes, I know a lot of people said that. I don't care about the statue. But I know a lot of people were into it. I understand. It's a cool statue. I was really hyped for Blood and Zeal, particularly the Sanctifiers. Played them once, but the Gormugs, oh buddy, the Gormugs, no, that's a team. Well, there you go. That's awesome that you're hyped for them. That is something I always try to remind myself, even if it's not for me, it is for somebody. Evening, hello Hughes. Are you going to do more battle reports? Yes, I am. There you go. I had vaguely planned to do Hyrotech versus Rattlings or something a little bit funky and out there like that. But I don't really know how to play either team. So I have to practice the team a bit first. So at least you're not seeing a total dumb battle report. And then record. And if I'm honest, battle reports take so much time and effort. Like, even the way I recorded my last 2, you know, where I'm doing that kind of summary, but like you get to look at the board as I do it. The only reason I can manage to record those is because I use so many editing tricks to speed up the editing of it. But it's still infinitely more effort put into a battle report that doesn't get that many views as just me talking about stuff, you know, and that is 0 effort. So there you go. So yeah, battle reports are kind of just, for me, when I feel like doing something a little bit more productive and a little bit more of a project than just pressing record and then talking and then stopping. But yes, I shall do some more. If we chart the strength of the new season teams, hold on, sorry. No, Gormuggers don't need nerfs. You don't understand. I simply happened to get better at the game when I started playing them. Yes, you're right. I apologize, Plastic Eater. I made a mistake. You're correct, of course. Yeah. If we chart the strength of the new season teams, then the extrapolation implies Typhon's team. Yes, you're right, CT. I did think about that before. It's like, yeah, because I was going to do the video title, does Kill Team have power creep? And it's like, well, no, because some teams from now are worse than other teams from the past. But you're right. I did think like, well, actually, very literally, yes, because every team that has released this edition has gotten stronger, which is very amusing. So, cool statue, but I got so much rain. Yeah, I've got nowhere to use that statue. I mean, I've got one here, right? So it can stay there. I love your battle reports. Thank you, Justin. There will be more coming. I can't tell you when, and I don't know which factions. I actually really want to play Mandrakes at the moment, but I will confess, I'm a slave to the algorithm, slave to the meta. And so I do check out Kill Team stats to see who are like the most played teams and which one I haven't had on the channel yet. So it probably won't be Mandrakes, unfortunately, but maybe one day. I'd like to start playing a bit of Mandrakes. The reason I really like Mandrakes, I'm gonna tell you. I'm sure I've said this before, but it's the only APL 2 team I truly like. The reason for that is that when my opponents roll 6s, I get upset, right? And I feel like their dice are broken. Now you might think that's like, oh, okay, well he's about to say that when he shoots them with Mandrakes, 6s are actually 1s, or like 6s fail. And so he likes that his opponent can roll 6s and he still wins. Not quite. Subtle difference, my good sirs. I enjoy that my opponents can roll 1s, because that's the proof that I just have an issue with the number 6. Because when they roll all ones, and I do no damage because the ones are crit saves, I'm happy for them. I'm like, oh wow, great roll. Whereas if my opponent rolls all sixes, I'm not happy for them. They're cheating scum, obviously. But then they roll all ones, which are all saves because of the mandrakes. I'm like, great job, buddy. Well done. Yeah. So there you go. That's why I like mandrakes. Because it proves to me that I just have a psychological issue with a dice that cheat to a 6. Because that's where people would cook their dice to, right? So therefore, if they roll ones, they haven't cooked their dice. There you go. I have issues and I am working on them. Thank you. So hyped for Typhon. I want that terrain and NIDS. And I'll probably use the Mechanicus for my Wrath and Glory games. Yeah, I think that... So I'm not really a huge AdMech guy. And I don't really like servitors. They're not my vibe. But... to flesh out the world of Warhammer, great little models. They're going to be great for Necromunda, that kind of thing. They're going to be great for general Imperial weirdos. And if you're ever trying to do a sort of like... not cosplay, what's the word? Blanked. Diorama. They're brilliant models to have lying around. Yeah. And that's good. That's good. The conspiracies that GW makes the new things broken sell products really bugs me ever since Desolators. Nerf gun marines were the most broken thing at the time. They weren't viable. Yeah, but they had just been released, weren't they? Like, they were broken on release. I do recall this. They had to get lots and lots of points increases. The Tyranids team in terrain is a must-buy, even though I got too much for Grey Tide. No, I agree. I'm really excited for the Tyranids. Because I have, like... I don't think I actually have 2,000 points of Tyranids, but I have some cool big bugs that I would like to play. And then, because I know I've got Ravenants coming, they can go into my army, big fan. They might be handy for Knights players too. Hot take, Knights players, right? Knights. We all know that ultimately demons seem to be being phased out, right? Could we not use the greater demons with like mods and stuff and proxies and conversions as knights? Because I just want to play big demons. I think they're cooler than knights. I just want big, crazy, magic wielding demons. Anyway, I don't know how that would be taken in a 40k tournament, to be honest. Oh, the experienced cheater knows to bring reverse. Yeah, I did think that it's like, yeah, they could, if they swap their dice, if they swap like, oh, anytime I need to roll that dice, I'm gonna roll the white dice instead of the black dice. It's like, I'm on to you, buddy. Don't do that. I'm calling the TO immediately. They might be handy for Knights players too. Oh, don't know what that was in reference to. The Mandrake switch 6s and 1s. So when you shoot, you have something called Soul Burn. I think that's a priest ability from Warcraft, but it's something like that. And basically, yeah, when you shoot, you reverse the dice. So, and it's based on APL. So they save against their APL, but it's 1s and 2s instead of 5s and 6s. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, but that's only with shooting, not with melee. No, Desolators were broken after the launch box was gone and before they released their own. Oh, did they? Okay. Alright. Fair play. Fair play. Thank you for yet another awesome stream, Maddie. It's been emotional. Until next time. Well, Eddie, I know that if you and Kaz are leaving, that means it is also time for me to wrap up the stream as it's 9:30. So thank you very much, everybody. Hydratus Dominatus. There you go. This sweet, sweet Alpha Legion, half Death Watch Marine. Legally distinct from an IP perspective, thank you very much, that likes to stay hydrated, will be available to you when I remember to put a link somewhere, but I haven't done that yet. There you go. So thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed. I will be back next week, I think, as I believe I am here for Monday. I have to leave very early Tuesday, but I'll probably still be here for Monday to say hi to everybody. Yeah, so I'll definitely be here next Monday. Cool. And then probably the Monday after that as well. I don't know why I'm saying this like I'm then stopping. Cool. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have fun. Have a good life. Tune in tomorrow for tomorrow's video where I talk about the name of the next kill team box thing. Cool. All right, well, thank you very much. Have a good one, everybody. See you on the chat. Bye-bye.